time as you get out of the habit. So good thing that, Rasangi called me and reminded me.
I'm very great. Rasangi is a wonderful Bhaktin leader. She knows how to recruit devotees.
Yeah, well, she recruited me, so she
Yeah,
must be good.
I'm very grateful she recruited you.
So,
Go ahead.
Gaura, are you going to talk to the group when more people come on, or how are we going to deal with what happened last week? I texted Baba Trini. I hope they come back. I think Ananda Patni.
I already talked to them. I talked to them already. Everything's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And Nanda Patni?
She's going to come back on. Yeah. She'll be on
and
soon.
Gaura Prabhu is here. Yay. Hare
Did he
Krishna.
offend everybody? Did he offend everybody?
Did who?
Vishvakarma.
Oh, I don't know if I want to get into it. We're recording this right now. Do we really want to discuss this online? I don't know.
Okay.
I just wanted to get into singing the Krishna book song, if it's all right.
I think let's just review the platform that we're doing. What are we're doing here?
Let's just change the subject. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dinesh.
Hare Krishna.
Hello, Bhumi.
Nice
It's
to
been
meet
many
you.
decades since I've seen you.
Oh, really? Has I don't know. I don't remember meeting you, but
Are you the Bhumi from California Bay Area?
Yes.
Well,
The one and only.
I was there in the 80s. Let me refresh your memory. I was there in the 80s.
You were there in the 80s in Santa Cruz?
Not Santa Cruz, San Francisco Bay Area. But you came up there now and again.
And to where?
Berkeley.
I don't know. I can't remember that well. Anyway, nice to see you again. I remember your name, and I remember meeting you there several times. Anyway, the fact that you don't remember me is okay. I'm not anybody special.
Well, I just want you to refresh my memory. Like if
I
had
had any details, I'd be happy to, but I don't have any details.
Say that again?
I don't remember any details. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think maybe you were there and I was there, and maybe we just didn't actually meet personally, and maybe that's why I don't know you. But your name sounds familiar.
Okay, well, that's good. Anyway, Hare Krishna.
And I love the
Krishna,
background. I love the background. Look at his background. That's amazing.
Hare Krishna is the icon for the spiritual revolution.
Krishna, hey, Krishna, 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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, hey.
Krishna, 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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
hey.
Mom.
Krishna, 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 Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. O Lord Krishna, please protect us and maintain us. O Lord Rama, descendant of King Raghu, please protect us. O Krishna, O Keshava, killer of the Keshi demon, please maintain us. I took the liberty to make it an us instead of a me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was praying on everyone's behalf.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh, look at Nanda Patni's here.
Yay. It's not complete without Nanda Patni. She's a hardcore Krishna book reader.
Time you should get out of the habit. So
yeah. Okay, here we are. Baba Trini and Hari Prabhus are not here. They're Srila Prabhupada ordered Baba Trini to read Krishna.
Here's Hari's here. They're here.
They're here. Okay.
There he is.
They look like they're in a car or something.
Yeah.
We are. We had to
Oh,
do so many errands in town, so we are on our way back to our house, and we might get cut off, but once we get there, we'll be able to continue the class.
oh, good. How far are you from your house?
About 15 minutes.
50.
Oh, okay.
No,
Harbo
15.
Bavatrini.
Hare Krishna.
Do you recognize me? It's Boomy.
Oh, yeah, of course I
Yes,
recognize you.
I remember you.
I recognized you by your voice.
Oh,
So Bhumi, you're in the lineup. You're the first to read, then Daneshvar. I guess you're not in the position to read right now. Is that right, Bavatrini?
We can read.
Because you're traveling.
No, you're gonna,
You can read.
you're gonna
we-
be
So first
wrong.
it's Bhumi,
Yeah, actually.
Bhumi, Daneshvar, and then Bavatrini. So please begin the killing
What
of
about
Satrajit.
Rasungi?
Wait,
Rasungi's
I,
there.
I can't
Rasungi
read
is
yet.
after.
No, no, I'm on the
Rasungi.
road. I'm
Oh.
on the road. I'll let you know when I can read.
Rasungi will let us know. She's usually walking. Yeah. And then Nandapatni is
Thank you.
after Nurhari and Bavatrini. So please begin, Bhumi, with the killing of Satrajit and Satadhanva. We read 2 paragraphs each usually.
okay. After Akrura visited Hastinapur and reported the condition of the Pandavas to Krishna, there were further developments. The Pandavas were transferred to a house which was made of shellac and was later on set ablaze, and everyone understood that the Pandavas, along with their mother Kunti, had been killed. This information was also sent to Lord Krishna and Balaram. After consulting together, they decided to go to Hastinapur to show sympathy to their relatives. Krishna and Balaram certainly knew that the Pandavas could not have been killed in the devastating fire, but in spite of this knowledge, they wanted to go to Hastinapur to take part in the bereavement.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Hey, Hardball, we're reading. Everybody, please mute if you're not speaking.
Thank you,
On-
Bhumi. Thank you.
On arriving in Hastinapur, Krishna and Balaram first of all went to see Bhishma Dev because he was the chief of the Kuru dynasty. They then saw Vidura, Gandhari, and Drona. Other members of the Kuru dynasty were not sorry because they wanted the Pandavas and their mother to be killed. But some family members headed by Bhishma were actually very sorry for the incident, and Krishna and Balaram expressed equal sorrow without disclosing the actual situation. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't move the page. You do, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. When Krishna and Balaram were away from the city of Dwarka, there was a conspiracy to take away the Shamantaka jewel from Satrajit. The chief conspirator was Satadhanva. Did I pronounce that right? Satadhanva.
Yes.
Along with others, Satadhanva wanted to marry Satyabhama, the beautiful daughter of Satrajit. Satrajit had promised that he would give his beautiful daughter in charity to various candidates. But later on, the decision was changed, and Satyabhama was given to Krishna. And Satyabhama was given to Krishna along with the Shamantaka jewel. Satrajit had no desire to give the jewel away along with his daughter, and Krishna, knowing his mentality, accepted his daughter but returned the jewel. After getting back the jewel from Krishna, he was satisfied and kept it with him always. But in the absence of Krishna and Balaram, there was a conspiracy by many men, including even Akrura and Kritavarma, who were devotees of Lord Krishna to take the jewel from Satrajit. Akrura and Kritavarma joined the conspiracy because they wanted the jewel for Krishna. They wanted that Krishna, they knew that Krishna wanted the jewel and that Satrajit had not delivered it properly. Others joined the conspiracy because they were disappointed in not having the hand of Satyabhama. Some of them incited Satadhanva to kill Satrajit to take away the jewel. Jai.
Thank you. I think it's Daneshwar Prabhu's turn now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is generally raised, why did a great devotee like Akrura join this conspiracy? And why did Kritavarma, although a devotee of the Lord, join the conspiracy also? The answer is given by great authorities like Jiva Goswami and others, that although Akrura was a great devotee, he was cursed by the inhabitants of Vrindavan because of his taking Krishna away from their midst. Ooh. Don't make the gopis unhappy. Because of his wounding their feelings, Akrura was forced to join the conspiracy declared by sinful men. Similarly, Kritavarma was a devotee, but because of his intimate association with Kamsa, he was also contaminated by sinful reaction, and he also joined the conspiracy. Just see how karma works, huh? Being inspired by all the members of the conspiracy, Satadhanva one night entered the house of Satrajit and killed him while he was sleeping. Satadhanva was a sinful man of abominable character. But it just said that he was a devotee of Krishna. Oh no, that was Kritavarma. Okay. Satadhanva was a sinful man of abominable character, and although due to his sinful activities, he was not to live for many days, he decided to kill Satrajit while Satrajit was sleeping at home. When he entered the house to kill Satrajit, all the women there began to cry loudly, very loudly. But in spite of their great protest, Satadhanva mercilessly butchered Satrajit without hesitation, exactly as a butcher kills an animal in the slaughterhouse. Since Krishna was absent from home, his wife Satyabhama was also present on the night Satrajit was murdered, and she began to cry, my dear father, how mercilessly you have been killed." Scroll, please. The dead body of Satrajit was not immediately removed for cremation because Satyabhama wanted to go to Krishna in Hastinapur. Therefore, the body was preserved in a tank of oil so that Krishna could come back and see the dead body of Satrajit and take real action against Satadhanva. Satyabhama immediately started for Hastinapur to inform Krishna about the ghastly death of her father.
Your Hari Prabhu?
All right. When Krishna was informed by Satyabhama of the murder of his father-in-law, he began to lament like an ordinary man. His great sorrow is, again, a strange thing. Lord Krishna has nothing to do with action and reaction, but because he was playing the part of a human being, he expressed his full sympathy for the bereavement of Satyabhama, and his eyes filled with tears upon hearing about the death of his father-in-law. He thus began to lament, "Oh, what unhappy incidents have taken place," unquote. In this way, both Krishna and Balaram, along with Satyabhama, the wife of Krishna, immediately returned to Dwarka and began to make plans to kill Satadhanva and take away the jewel. Although he was a great outlaw in the city, Satadhanva was still very much afraid of Krishna's power. And thus, he became most afraid on Krishna's arrival. Go on to the next paragraph.
Yes, please.
Understanding Krishna's plan to kill him, he immediately went to take shelter of Kritavarma. But on being approached by him, Kritavarma said, quote, "I shall never be able to offend Lord Krishna and Balaram because they are not ordinary persons. They are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Who can be saved from death if he has offended Balaram and Krishna? No one can save from their wrath. Kritavarma further said that Kansa, although powerful and assisted by many demons, could not be saved from the wrath of Krishna. And what to speak of Jarasandha, who had been defeated by Krishna 18 times, and each time had to return from the fighting in disappointment.
Let's see who's next in the list. Okay, Rasangi's walking. Mahabodhi Prabhu, thank you for coming. Are you able to read, Prabhu, or are you busy? And just Mahabodhi Prabhu.
Just listening, finishing up
Okay.
my emails before my class. Just wanted to
Sure.
hear some Harikatha.
Yeah, thank you for joining, Prabhu. Nandapatni, please.
Okay. When Satadhanva was refused help by Kritavarma, he went to Akrura and implored him to help. Akrura also replied, both Balaram and Krishna are themselves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and anyone who knows their unlimited strength would never dare to offend them or fight with them. He further informed Satadhanva, quote, Krishna and Balaram are so powerful that simply by willing, they are creating the whole cosmic manifestation, maintaining it and dissolving it. Unfortunately, persons who are bewildered by the illusory energy cannot understand the strength of Krishna, although the whole cosmic manifestation is fully under his control. He's cited as an example that Krishna, even at the age of 7 years, had lifted Govardhan Hill and had continued to hold up the mountain for 7 days, exactly as a child carries a small umbrella. Akrura plainly informed Satadhanva that he would always offer his most respectful obeisances to Krishna, the supersoul of everything that is created and the original cause of all causes. When Akrura also refused to give him shelter, Satadhanva decided to deliver to the hands of Akrura the Shamantaka jewel. Then, riding on a horse, which could run at great speed and up to 400 miles at a stretch, he fled the city. When Krishna and Balaram were informed of the flight of Satadhanva, they mounted their chariot, its flag marked with the picture of Garuda, and followed him immediately. Krishna was particularly angry with Satadhanva and wanted to kill him because he had killed Satrajit, a superior personality. Satrajit happened to be the father-in-law of Krishna, and it's the injunction of the Shastras that anyone who has rebelled against a superior person or Guru Druha must be punished in proportion to the volume of offense. Because Satadhanva had killed his father-in-law, Krishna was determined to kill him by any means.
Jai, Jivan Mukta made it. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's your turn.
Satadhanva's it's my turn, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Satadhanva's horse became exhausted and died near a garden house in Mithila. Unable to take help of the horse, Satadhanva began to run with great speed. In order to be fair to Satadhanva, Krishna and Balaram also left their chariot and began to follow Satadhanva on foot. While both Satadhanva and Krishna were running on foot, Krishna took his disc and cut off the head of Satadhanva. After Satadhanva was killed, Krishna searched through his clothing for the Shamantaka jewel, but he could not find it. He then returned to Balaram and said, "We have killed this person uselessly because the jewel is not to be found on his body." Sri Balaram suggested, "The jewel might have been kept in custody of another man in Dwarka, so you'd better return and search it out." Sri Balaram expressed his desire to remain in Mithila city for some days because he enjoyed an intimate friendship with the king. Therefore, Krishna returned to Dwarka and Balaram entered the city of Mithila. One more? One more verse?
Yeah, two
Or
each.
one more paragraph. When the
Prabhu.
king of Matila saw the arrival of Sri Balaram in his city, he became most pleased and received the Lord with great honor and hospitality. He presented many valuable presents to Balaramji in order to seek his pleasure. At this time, Sri Balaram lived in the city for several years as the honored guest of the king of Matila, Janak Maharaj. During this time, Duryodhan, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, took the opportunity of coming to Balaram and learning from him the art of fighting with a club.
Thank you. After killing Satadhanva, Krishna returned to Dwarka, and in order to please his wife, Satyabhama, he informed her of the death of Satadhanva, the killer of her father. But he also informed her that the jewel had not been found in his possession. Then, according to religious principles, Krishna, along with Satyabhama, performed all kinds of ceremonies in honor of the death of his father-in-law. In that ceremony, all the friends and relatives of the family joined together. Akrura and Kritavarma, who were prominent members in the conspiracy to kill Satrajit, had incited Satadhanva to kill him. But when they heard of the death of Satadhanva at Krishna's hand, and when they heard also that Krishna had returned to Dwarka, they both immediately left Dwarka. Please allow me to read that again. I want this to sink in. Akrura and Kritavarma, who were prominent members in the conspiracy to kill Satrajit, had incited Satadhanva to kill him. Okay. But when they heard of the death of Satadhanva at Krishna's hand, and when they heard also that Krishna had returned to Dwarka, they both immediately left Dwarka. Okay. The citizens of Dwarka felt themselves threatened with pestilence and natural disturbances due to the absence of Akrura from the city. This was a kind of superstition because while Lord Krishna was present, there could not be any pestilence, famine, or natural disturbances. But in the absence of Akrura, there were some disturbances in Dwarka. Once in the province of Kashi, within the barricade of Varanasi, there was severe drought and practically no rainfall. At that time, the king of Kashi arranged the marriage of his daughter, known as Gandhini, with Shwapalka, the father of Akrura. This was done by the king of Kashi on the advice of an astrologer, and actually it so happened that after the marriage of the king's daughter with Shwapalka, there was sufficient rainfall in the province. Due to this supernatural power of Shwapalka, his son Akrura was also considered equally powerful, and people were under the impression that wherever Akrura or his father remained, there would be no natural disturbance, famine, or drought. That kingdom is considered to be happy where there is no famine, pestilence, or excessive heat and cold, and where people are happy mentally, spiritually, and bodily. As soon as there is some disturbance, people consider the cause to be due to the absence of an auspicious personality in the city. Thus, there was a rumor that because of the absence of Akrura, inauspicious things were happening. After the departure of Akrura, some of the elderly members of the town began to perceive that there were also inauspicious signs due to the absence of the Shamataka jewel. When Lord Sri Krishna heard these rumors spread by the people, he decided to summon Akrura from the kingdom of Kashi. Akrura was Krishna's uncle. Therefore, when he came back to Dwarka, Lord Krishna first of all welcomed him as befitting a superior person. Krishna is the super soul in everyone's heart. He knows everything going on in everyone's heart. He knew, therefore, that had happened in connection with Akrura's conspiracy with Satadhanva. Therefore, he smilingly began to address Akrura. Bhumi.
Addressing him as the chief among magnificent men, Krishna said, "My dear uncle, it is already known to me that the Shamantaka jewel was left by Satadhanva with you. Presently, there is no direct claimant of the Shamantaka jewel, for King Satrajit has no son, as grandson of Satrajit would, after performing the regulative
I
principles."
think you skipped. I think
You missed the line, Boomy.
Oh, what happened?
You missed the line. King Satrajit had no male issue.
Okay, so I need to back up a few sentences. I'm kind of
Presently.
lost. His
presently.
daughter Satyabhama is not very, wait, addressing him as, I don't know. Tell me where to start.
Presently.
Presently.
What?
Start with presently, there is no direct claimant.
Presently, I can't.
Third sentence.
Third sentence, one.
Third line.
Third line, I mean.
Oh, presently there is no direct claimant of the Shamantaka jewel, for King Satrajit has no male issue. His daughter Satyabhama is not very anxious for this jewel, yet her expected son, as grandson of Satrajit, would, after performing the regulative principles of inheritance, be the legal claimant of the jewel. Lord Krishna indicated by this statement that Satyabhama was already pregnant and that her son would be the real claimant for the jewel and would certainly take the jewel from him. Krishna continued, back down. Oh, Krishna continued, this jewel is so powerful that no ordinary man is able to keep it. I know that you are very pious in activities, so there is no objection to the jewel being kept with you. There is one difficulty, and that is that my elder brother, Shri Balaram, does not believe my version that the jewel is with you. I therefore request you, O large-hearted one, to show me the jewel before my other relatives so that they may be pacified. You cannot deny that the jewel is with you, because from various kinds of rumors, we can understand that you have enhanced your opulence and are performing sacrifices on an altar made of solid gold. The properties of the jewel were known. Wherever the jewel remained, it would produce for the keeper almost 9 mounds of pure gold daily. There's a ringing sound every few seconds.
Yeah, I think I'll disconnect WhatsApp. That was what was causing it. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What after I finish reading, I'm going to ask you why you're on WhatsApp.
I'm not on it. It's just going off in the background.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. The properties of the jewel were known.
You scared me.
Sorry?
Nick, sorry. I
I'm sorry.
apologize. I'm speaking to somebody else.
Oh, I forgot where I am.
Gaura was getting gold. Third line up in the paragraph
Third line from the bottom,
of the paragraph.
third line in the paragraph.
Yeah, from the bottom of the paragraph.
From the bottom. Oh, Akrura was getting gold in that proportion and was distributing it very profusely at sacrificial performances. Lord Krishna cited Akrura's lavishly spending in gold as positive evidence of his possessing the Shamantaka jewel. Sorry about my reading
Okay, I think we should, yeah, there's only 2 paragraphs left, so is it,
My turn,
But
Okay.
my
Trini's
turn,
back. Oh,
my
Oh.
turn.
I thought he read.
When Lord Krishna, in friendly terms and in sweet language, impressed Akrura about the real fact, and Akrura understood that nothing could be concealed from the knowledge
No.
of Sri Krishna.
There's background noise.
Everybody can mute, please.
How do we, okay.
He brought. Okay, starting over. When Lord Krishna, in friendly terms and in sweet language, impressed Akrura about the real fact, and Akrura understood that nothing could be concealed from the knowledge of Sri Krishna, he brought the valuable jewel shining like the sun and covered by cloth and presented it before Krishna. Lord Krishna took the Shamataka jewel in his hand and showed it to all his relatives and friends present there, and then again returned the jewel to Akrura in their presence so that they would know that the jewel was actually being kept by Akrura in Dwarka city. This story of the Shamataka jewel is very significant. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that anyone who hears the story of the Shamataka jewel or describes it or simply remembers it will be free from all kinds of defamation and the reactions of all impious activities, and thus will attain the highest perfectional condition of peace. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 2nd volume, 2nd chapter of Krishna, the killing of Satrajit and Satadhanva. I have a question.
Jai, go for it.
So he was, Akrura was part of the conspiracy to kill him, and it was said that he wanted the jewel for Krishna. So then why didn't he straight away give it to Krishna? Why was he keeping it and then distributing all this gold and build a mountain, build an altar made of solid gold and everything? It seems contradictory.
Does anyone have an answer?
Maybe it enhances the mystery of the whole thing. I mean, it's quite complicated in its own way. I was going to ask, weren't we reading about this jewel the other week?
Yes,
That it
but because there was other festivals,
Uh-huh.
we interrupted. Yeah. This was part 1 that we read.
Because we were talking about it, but you know, how it kept manifesting this gold.
Yeah, that was several weeks ago, and it explained how much volume a mound was.
Yes,
I remember
yes,
that
yes.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
75 pounds or something like that.
Well,
But
I want to know
so
why- yeah.
it sounds like Akrura is being sneaky, not being a good guy. I mean, why was he running away when Krishna returned? If he took the jewel for Krishna, he should have went to greet Krishna with the jewel instead of running away. That seems like he's got a guilty conscience.
Mm.
Well, he was a close
He
associate of Kamsa. So, you know, maybe some bad habits, some bad, you
He
know,
killed Satrajit, and because he killed Satrajit, and Satrajit was the father-in-law, was Krishna's father-in-law from Satyabhama.
Akrura didn't kill him.
Akrura didn't.
He was no, but
He
he was
was
part of
involved.
the conspiracy.
Right. But
Remember, we just read.
Mahabodhi, before you got here, we read that he joined a conspiracy because he wanted to get the jewel for Krishna.
Right. Him and Kritavarma.
Also,
Yes.
I have a song about it.
At the same time, the conspiracy to get the jewel.
I don't know if I have it.
Anyway,
I don't know if that answers your question, Daneshwar Prabhu.
I don't think there is an answer.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing the Shamataka jewel if you ever get home, Nurhari. And
I might be able to ask this question to this sannyas, disciple of Bhakti Puri Maharaj.
Okay.
But right now, last night, I just saw that the celebrating this began in Puri, attended by the President of India, a Vaishnava Gaudiya Vaishnava 3-year Gaudiya Vaishnava Congress. And everybody, Bodhayan Maharaj was every single one of the Gaudiya mat, each of the mats, the acharyas came and were presented with plaques.
It was
The
for
governor,
Bhaktisiddhanta.
it was for it was for Bhaktisiddhanta's appearance day, the 148th. So they want to celebrate in 3 years the 150th anniversary.
Continuously.
So continuously it's gonna be that. So he's pretty busy. I haven't been able to contact him for a while.
Please, whenever he has time.
That would be a question.
Yes,
You know
please.
why? Because he's reading 36 different commentaries from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to all the authentic, authorized, bona fide commentaries, different Goswamis on our line. And I'm sure this question has to be,
Yes.
there.
Anyone can give an answer, it'll be him. I have a question. Okay, so why did Krishna and Balaram want to take part in the bereavement of the attempted assassination of Queen Kunti and her sons, even though they'd not been burned?
Why wouldn't they? I mean, as far as everybody knows, they were killed.
They were helping to keep the illusion that they were dead alive.
And we just read that they're playing the Nara Lila, or the part of human.
No, but they knew. But they didn't want to give away that they weren't killed. So of course they had to act like they were upset. But that's explained in other commentaries. And also the thing with the Kura, it's partially due to bad association. I heard someone say, but I didn't say who said it, that he had close association with Kamsa. And that's also mentioned in the story of David Vida Gorilla. It was due to bad association.
And in this, I remember it's saying that because he had close association with Kamsa.
Yes.
Yeah. But the biggest offense by Akrura is that he made the inhabitants of Braja unhappy by taking Krishna and Balaram
Yes,
away.
it says that also.
Yeah, we just read that.
Yes, we read that.
I'm trying to remember the details. Why was it that Satrajit had not delivered the jewel to Krishna?
Krishna gave it back to him and told him, you take care of it and then keep it in the city. And that, because he realized that Satrajit really, we read it. Satrajit wasn't happy giving the jewel to Krishna, but he had to do it. But Krishna realized he wasn't happy, knowing his mentality. So he said, you take care of the jewel and keep it here in Dwarka and everyone will benefit from it. And then Satrajit was satisfied.
But then despite that, Akrura, despite the fact that Krishna made that arrangement, Akrura was thinking, I'll get this jewel for Krishna. Again, that's...
Yes, that was his main intention.
Can you repeat that point again, please, Nanishwar?
Yeah, despite the fact that Krishna made that arrangement to leave the jewel with Satyajit, Akrura joined the conspiracy on the idea that he wanted to get the jewel for Krishna. But Krishna had already given his decision about what to do with it. Okay. So again, it seems like Akrura is not being straightforward somehow.
It's amazing. Go ahead, Gaura.
That Akrura was being overly intelligent. Like Krishna already. I mean, I don't want to make an offense.
Because what's amazing is that we all follow Akrura's prayers on how to enter Vrindavan.
Attain perfection by
and how prayers. To attain perfection. And he's considered a pure devotee who attained the highest perfection. So it's really
it comes to mind for me that is what I read, Kaviraj Goswami says, don't try to understand the complex
That's what Gaura
pastimes,
just said. It's
of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, with our intellect.
But yet Prabhupada
We have
said,
to-
we should have these discussions and analyze from different angles of vision from each devotee.
Yeah,
of course,
absolutely.
of course.
Yes, of course.
That doesn't negate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you
It
say?
also shows the power of attraction to wealth,
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah.
power of
Yeah.
what?
the
The power of
incredible allurement, the incredible allurement of wealth and opulence that this jewel
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the same. Great that
just
you
like
brought it up.
it's so intoxicating that it totally bewilders the mind, that you've got Lord Krishna there. Like you and look at the difference between this situation and Sanatan Goswami, the story of
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. or Srila Prabhupada. Today I was watching the Daiva Shakti showing the whole quarters. She cooked for Srila Prabhupada since 74. She never left Vrindavan. And one of the things, all the gifts that were given to him, he had a solid gold straw to drink coconut water from. He had, Hari Sori gave him a mirror, a set that you open, for tilak. The top of it is Krishna Balaram in solid gold. His cane, one of the canes that I believe was Brahmananda, I forget now who gave him. Oh, Kirtananda Maharaj gave him. A solid handle was the beautiful lion, the Prabhupada.
Who are you talking about, Prabhu? I'm sorry, I missed that.
That,
Prabhupada,
we're
Srila
just talking,
Prabhupada.
they were remembering about Sanatan Goswami. I was just remembering how Prabhupada too was undisturbed by all
Okay.
of a sudden this opulence that was given to him.
Uh-huh.
Although he said not to use silver and gold to the deities because it will attract thieves. But it has
Right.
nothing to do with, so this reminded me, the devotees were reminded of Sanatan Goswami and, having the touchstone.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada had more than, like both of them had more than that, and material opulence did not disturb them whatsoever.
I find this pastime to be one of the most intriguing pastimes with all kinds of, it winds and weaves. And
Yes.
Yes.
Jivan Mukta Prabhu was saying, I was thinking the same, that because of this jewel, because of this incredible wealth and the influence of the jewel, everyone was going nuts.
Yeah. Interesting though, because it's Dwarka and there's all pure devotees there. So it's like really,
And the jewel got rid of all disturbances, but still
And created all
gold.
disturbances too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was also thinking that, I never got into like gemstones and stuff. And I know a lot of devotees, I know a lot of people actually that are into that, I don't even know what they're called, but there's those like pink ones. What are they? Like pink salt,
Rose
Quartz or the Himalayan?
quartz, and all that stuff. Yeah. And, they all apparently have effect.
Mhm.
And this story actually shows that, there are jewels that have, significant effects upon the minds, right? This jewel affected the minds of all these people in the story. And, but how really in the end, we should be completely unaffected by it. We should see in the Bhagavad Gita, it says to see these type of, gold and all like the same thing, like just to see them equally, like sand in the, on the shore. It's like of no, we should see them all equally. We shouldn't be attracted by this, apparent wealth, because practically even gold. I mean, the only reason gold has any value is because people accept it, that it's got value, but otherwise it doesn't feed you, it doesn't clothe you, it doesn't shelter you. It just is a
It's
form
shiny.
It's shiny.
It's shiny.
Pretty.
Well, it has
It's actually,
it has so many
Krishna
properties.
invested
It has
it as a
medicinal
store of value.
properties.
Oh,
Krishna-
raise my hand.
Yes,
Krishna invested it with the store of value. And I forget where I read that in the Bhagavatam someplace. Money,
Krishna
when you're talking about Jiva Mukta is money. Money has no value, but gold is always accepted as value.
Yeah, current currency throughout the ages.
Throughout
It
the ages,
doesn't tarnish.
absolutely.
I'd like to comment that when my son was born, I went to an Ayurvedic doctor and he said, "Oh, I forget exactly after how many days, but you should put," and he gave me a thin piece of gold and he told me to put it, I think, in buttermilk because he said it would really enhance the intellect and cognitive function of my son's mind or brain. So I don't think gold in of itself, I mean, of course it has its wealth, but like for instance, Jivan Mukta, our godbrother Lakshminath, he wears a moonstone because he had gone to see some astrologer and it's supposed to have a very positive effect on the mind. I know we depend on the Hare Krishna mantra, but I'm thinking it's interesting. Like I don't know if it's called gemology, but it's a part of Ayurveda where like there's that saying diamond is a girl's best friend. Well, I don't know exactly what the psycho.
Ayurvedically, actually, women are not meant to wear diamonds. They're very dangerous.
Oh,
Even
wow.
if they have a little flaw, it'll be very dangerous for that. Here we are in the Western civilization. A diamond is, preferred.
But minerals and jewels, I don't know about gold, but the actual jewels are living gems. They're living. They're like stones even are alive. They just are very covered over and slow moving.
You mean there's an
It
atma?
reminds it.
You mean there's an atma in a jewel?
Yeah, I think so. You've got a hand
Oh,
up.
the royal span.
Mahabodhi's got his hand up.
We have to put our hands up here, otherwise it's getting all garbled.
Oh,
Mahabodhi has
okay.
his hand up. Yes,
Yeah.
please, Mahabodhi. Prabhu.
Okay.
Mahabodhi.
Can I ask you, how do you put your hand up?
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom, it says reactions at the bottom of the screen, and then you click on that, and it says raise hand or lower hand. And Mahabodhi is a perfect gentleman, so he's raised his hand to be the next to speak. Mahabodhi Prabhu, take your mute off, please, so we can hear you.
Well, he actually quickly took his hand away, so maybe there you go.
No, I was just going to read another explanation from the Vishnu Purana that had a little different, more details than was given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the main story. There's a few additional points that was in the Vishnu Purana on such that it might be valuable to discussion.
Let's hear them.
No, you moved into different areas, so it's not really relevant right now. That's all.
Oh,
it was
okay.
just I was going to read some of the different things about Akrura and some of the different reasonings you guys were talking should be, but in the scriptures it actually has some, why Akrura did some stuff like that. So I thought I would read it, but you guys
please do. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Well, okay, hold on.
My wife is giving you dinner. Thank
So
you. Please.
I'll start from, let me see. I don't want to get the whole story. It's too long. Let me see. So one of the things that was interesting, let me read that part. There's a whole lot here. I don't really want to read the whole story. It's too long. When it was interesting when Satyabhama was married to Krishna after Jambavati, after the fight with Jambavan, and then also when this whole thing with Satyabhama, then there were other Yadavas like Akrura and Kritavarma and Satyabhama that also had wanted to marry Satyabhama, and they were not at all happy at the turn of events that Krishna actually had been given her, so that they had felt that they were insulted. And so that was one of the starts of this thing. You'd want to kind of like, well, why does it start? And then it goes, meanwhile, I'm going farther into the story. Meanwhile, Akrura started to perform many yagyas. It is a crime to kill someone who is performing a yajna. So Akrura reasoned that even if Krishna got to know that he possessed the jewel, Krishna would not kill him as long as he was performing a sacrifice. The sacrifices went on for 62 years. And because the jewel was Dwarka, disease and other evil things disappeared from the city. But some relatives of Akrura killed some other Yadavas and fled the city. Akrura also fled with them. And the moment this happened, wild beasts, drought, disease returned to Dwarka. At the first, people thought this was happening because of a holy man like Akrura had left the city. Akrura was therefore brought back, and immediately the wild beast, drought, and disease disappeared. Krishna, however, reasoned that all this could not be happening simply because Akrura was a holy man. There must be more than to it than that. How is it that Akrura performed one yajna after another? Where did he get the money? He was not a rich man. He must therefore have the jewel. And Krishna called an assembly of the Yadavas in his house, and there he told Akrura, "We all know that Satadhanva had left the Samataka jewel with you. Let the jewel remain with you. There is no harm in that. We are all gaining from its presence here in the city. But Baladev suspects that I have stolen it. Will you please show it to him once to set his suspicions at rest?" And Akrura reasoned that if he had lied, they might search his clothes and discover the jewel. So he took out the jewel from the golden box that he kept hidden inside his clothes. He offered it to the Yadavas who were most worthy of it. The jewel was so attractive that Baladev also began to covet it. So did Satyabhama. Since she thought that the jewel had belonged to her father, it was now rightfully hers for her son. Krishna felt that a quarrel was imminent and intervened. He said, "This jewel brings happiness to the kingdom only if someone pure wears it. If someone impure wears it, the wearer is destroyed. I should not wear it. I am not really pure. I have 16,000 wives. For the same reason, let not Satyabhama possess it, nor should Baladev have it. He drinks all the time. Let the jewel stay with Akrura." And this is what was agreed to. I just thought I would share that with you.
Where is that from? Mama Buddy, where were you reading from?
That's on the Puranas. I think it was Vishnu Purana from the story of Satrajit. There's different Sattvic Puranas. The Srimad Bhagavatam is, of course, the pure jewel. But there's sometimes you'll find in reading some of the other, Sattvic, you'll find some more of the story that's abridged sometimes in the Bhagavatam.
Thank you.
Right.
Jivan Mukta, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Jivan Mukta, you had your hand up, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to mention that jewels are a measure of opulence. Like in the Bhagavatam, when we hear about Krishna's presence, and it's described how the mountains or produce jewels, and so it's understood that the jewels are a source of wealth and a sign of opulence and good fortune for a country or a community. So
in the spiritual world, the trees are made of the jewels. They're actually made of the emeralds and the sapphires and the diamonds. I forget how it works, but it's like the leaves are
that reminds me of,
and the flowers are rubies and like that.
It reminds me of Shyamasundar Prabhu's book where he brought all those rubies to George Harrison. Did you read that section?
No.
Where Shyamasundar Prabhu brought I don't know how many tons of rubies, and George Harrison used them for his walkway in his garden.
Wow.
He just lay him down on the ground to kind of pave his little walkway.
They were not very good quality, and he couldn't sell them, so he gave them to George.
Yeah.
The good ones he sold. Amazing. And Prabhupada gave him permission. He's a gemologist. We're talking about gemology. Shyamasundar, Prabhupada's dear disciple and helping create the whole movement, was a gemologist, and he went off on adventures for like 40 years. And Prabhupada gave him permission to do that. Prabhupada knew it, and he gave him permission. He thought he would learn some lessons from it, that he still had some desire. And Prabhupada mentioned when he left the room that he would learn some lessons from it, which he does. His third volume of this, Chasing Rhinos, is unbelievable. If anybody hasn't read it, what an adventuresome spirit. And yet Prabhupada used that to help create the movement and bring in George Harrison and conquer the world, really. Some eccentric and amazing personalities, not straight edge people. You know, Guru Das was not straight edge. Malaki was into a madam before she became a devotee. There's so many, it's like very fascinating, you know what I mean? Talking about fascination.
Talk about Satrajit and that intrigue, we've got our own.
What I want to
It's
know
still going on.
why did poor old Satrajit end up in a tank of oil? I found that absolutely
I was going to
harrowing.
respond to Risangi. According to Malati, she said Shamasundar's interest in jewels is what destroyed his devotional service. That was
He came back, and he's written these books, and look what he did before. But Prabhupada knew he wasn't just a renegade. I mean, I read the conversations there. You know, Prabhupada allowed him to do it because he was going to be doing it to give to the temple and build Krishna consciousness.
Nandapatni, you were mentioning, why was Satrajit put in oil, in the vat of oil?
Well, it just sounds so grim.
It was to preserve his body,
I
right?
know, but it seems, you know, I mean, it's such an awful image.
One thought that came to me is when Krishna was out to kill Satadhanva, like he was that devout. I was thinking, well, you know, whatever inclinations we have, we know we have it because it's in Krishna. So I was thinking, if any of us have the inclination to kill others, it's because that inclination is there in Krishna. So I'm not recommending anyone go and kill anyone.
Especially with this emergency order right now that Trudeau's put out.
Uh-oh.
I have my hand up. I wanted
Yes,
to be.
I didn't see it, Daneshwar, because your hand is in the sunshine, so it's blending in with the sun. Go ahead.
Narihari had his hand up first.
I see. Okay, you're very fair, Daneshwar. Narihari Babatrini, yes.
Thank you. In going back to gold, you know, and its value, like you were saying, is very medicinal too. And there was, we were in LA with my family. There was 73 or 4. Prabhupada was there in Los Angeles, and there was this senior disciple who had married, and his wife was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And Prabhupada recommended a medicine that had gold and other ingredients. And now, in studying about the cows, when you have a very happy cow, some devotees are saying, well, only the local Indian cows, but they give small amounts of gold in their milk.
Oh,
Yeah, so
What?
having a very happy cow,
Yeah, they give
in the
gold.
milk you'll find very little amounts of gold, but those amounts are what you need for healing.
How the heck does that work?
It's a
Well,
cow.
we all
It's a
have,
cow.
Yeah, but how's there gold in the milk?
we all have minerals in our body, right?
Yes.
And water has minerals in it. So it
It's
does
it's called transmutation. The
They do it up
cow
in their home.
creates the gold by transmuting the elements because the cow is all auspicious.
Yeah, if you know it, right. Yeah,
also
they can
feed the
digest
cow
things
gold.
that we can. Wow. Yeah.
In India, they also
if you
feed,
know
at
anything,
that time, they feed the cows some gold leaf. It was also a tradition. So they would have some in their udders
Gold and
also.
I
silver.
can see
And
that.
silver.
and they can
Yeah.
extract it. They can extract it from the plants. They extract it thanks again to the cows due to their bacteria that they produce. It breaks down the soil here. So in Hawaii, for example, we have all these emanations of minerals that coming out of the volcano. One of the things is up on the top, when you first see the lava flow, is obsidian color, and that's due to the gold and silver and minuscule amounts of it, but it's there. And so the cows are able to, then you have vegetation that breaks down these minerals, and then the cow again can digest this for us to be able to ingest it and use it. If in Chinese medicine, there is a body that, you know, all the meridians and like that. This body is or this circuitry is composed of copper molecules. So we do have plenty of minerals in our body.
But the cows are awesome.
But the cows are awesome. I'm talking about cows that are being well treated. You know, ahimsa, not this other.
Even if they're not well treated, they're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
But Donna Veer used to, when it was time to have the hot milk at night, he'd go, liquid gold. He called milk liquid gold, liquid religiosity in a cup.
Right.
So
Tanisha,
gold
you
has,
had your hat up for a
gold
while.
has-
Did you want to say
gold
something?
has some good, yeah, gold has some good points.
Daneshwar Prabhu?
Oh, thanks. I've forgotten, dude, being intrigued by all the gold discussion.
Yeah, I found it interesting that
Blinded by
sorry. Do I have to put my hand up here? I guess I better be a better example. Let me put my hand up. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I found it interesting that who was Akrura explaining that Krishna had lifted Govardhan Hill? Who was he saying that to? Do you remember?
The one that killed Satrajit. He was saying that to him. The
Satadhanva.
one that killed
Satadhanva.
Satadhanva. He wanted them to protect him. He came to them to be protected.
And okay, because I was thinking it's interesting, because I was trying to understand the Yogamaya potency that, you know, prevents people from thinking Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I was wondering how Akrura, in the role of Krishna's uncle, was able to casually mention, well, you know, as a little boy, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. So how could Akrura say such a thing without understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? I was just wondering that.
He did know that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of God.
Yes, he knew he was. And then, do you remember we read that he probably even has a cowboy body?
But how could Akrura act as an uncle of Krishna if he knows he's the Supreme Personality of God? Just like Nanda Maharaj, he doesn't think that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
No, but you remember they're in Dwarka. They're with
Vasudev and
reverence.
Devaki know that he's God. And
When he went back to spend time with the gopis, he explained that very clearly. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right.
So then it seems he's not always covered by Yogamaya. He can act as an uncle, and he can also be in reverence of Krishna. I'm just trying to understand.
He's a resident of Mathura, and therefore it's not the same. It's not the same as Braj. In Braj, Krishna's not seen as God. You know, he's there, my lover, my friend, my son, those kinds of things. The three major rasas. It's different in Mathura and Dwarka. Dwarka is like an open, like Mathura opening up another door, and everyone overnight lived in Dwarka. So, but there is Aishwarya. So therefore there's relationship, but it's also with understanding that, Krishna is the king, Krishna is the supreme person, depending on the level of their adhikar.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Very good.
Thank you.
So it's Vasudev Krishna that they're talking about too.
But Vasudev Krishna didn't lift Govardhan.
No. Didn't cry for chapatis or milk.
I found it interesting. It was saying, to be fair, Krishna got off the chariot to run on foot after Satadhanva. But then it
Yeah.
said, but then he summoned the Sudarshan chakra and sliced his head off. So I found
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of a
That-
paradox that Krishna, just to be, okay, I'll be fair here. I'll run. But then was Krishna being fair when he took the Sudarshan chakra and sliced his head off?
That's my question. That was my question. So that didn't say anything about him being liberated. But everybody, who is it? Shalva, somebody got killed with the chakra and they got liberated.
Shishupal had his head.
Right.
Vishupal.
Right. So,
Like he was, that was his third incarnation. Remember their Jai Vijay?
well, but whoever Krishna kills gets liberated, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
that is not mentioned here.
Yeah.
You're right. So he's in purgatory somewhere.
I was wondering where Matila was, and I just looked up and said Matila is in Bihar. Are you there, Shikarani? She's from Bihar, and Srila Narayan Raj is from Bihar. Matila is an ancient cultural region of South Nepal and North India, lying between the lower ranges of the Himalayas and the Ganges River. The Nepal border cuts across the top fringe of this region. The Gandak and Koshi rivers are rough western and eastern boundaries of Matila. Because I was wondering when they were describing Matila, where is that? Oh, it's in Bihar.
You got hands up there, Gaura.
Okay. Jiva Mukta Prabhu.
I just wanted to mention that regarding Akura, understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, despite being his uncle, Kunti also understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But yet she acted in the capacity as auntie.
Yes, and also we know Bhishma saw Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna knew Krishna was the Supreme Personality. Yudhishthira, the Pandavas knew.
All residents, even Hastinapur, they're all residents of Mathura and or Dwarka. So therefore, all those relationships are still in Aishwarya. They're related, but they also know the power, the potency of Krishna, where it's not blood. There's a difference.
Right. There is some fear in them too.
I've got the question of the night. Where's the Shamataka jewel today?
We're not telling.
Yeah, I'm sure one of us knows.
Bottom of the ocean.
We're not telling.
Well,
I think
if you find in the
Thank you for
It
coming.
would be purported to be, since the last location was in Dwarka, and Dwarka has sunk into the whatever's the Arabian Sea or whatever that's called.
Yeah, Arabian Sea.
yes, Arabian Sea.
So
Very
somewhere
good conclusion.
under the ocean, more than likely.
He took it back to him, the spiritual world.
It could have.
Yeah, I think that Krishna just took, everything is gone. Unless Varuna, who is supposed to be the depository of all wealth and
Because
gems.
that's an eternal pastime.
Right.
Yes.
I was going to say to Jivan Mukta, let's go on an excavation, but we were reading that if you're not pure, if you're not pure and you have the Shamataka jewel, what does it do? It works the opposite on you?
Yes.
It kills you, or what?
Cause a lot of trouble.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's what happened to Satrajit and Satadhanva. That was the cause of their destruction.
Some say that.
And that's
Well,
why Akura was performing sacrifices for 62 years.
To become more qualified, you mean?
To save his butt.
Madan Mohan, this is the first time I've seen you in a long time. Thank you very much for coming. Are you in South America, in Chile, or where are you?
I'm in Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
Near
There you go.
Near
Nugo
Govinda. Sorry.
No, Govinda Dasi, she's in Louisiana.
Well, I heard she was on the border of
Oh,
Texas, Louisiana.
Yeah, she is, but I'm here at Nugo Cool with
Okay.
Abadu Mar.
Oh, okay. Very good. And thank you for coming, Nichalila, all the way from Pakistan. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Does anyone else have any other comments or questions?
No, there's a funny one, talking about Sanatan Goswami's touchstone,
Yeah.
and he threw it. I heard from devotees, local devotees, that some European devotees came with a whole get up for,
Looking for the
looking for the
touchstone.
touchstone with breathing tanks. They went into Radhakund and they went to the different locations, the water locations.
Did you
What were they were looking for it?
Yes,
The touchstone.
they didn't.
But even though he had rejected it as being worthless and worthy of a
Yeah,
garbage,
remember, Sanatan Goswami had it in a pile of trash.
right?
Well, she knows the story.
You
She's
remember
saying,
the
why
story
would
that-
devotees go look for it?
Yeah, why
Well, I
would
don't know if
devotees
he was a
say, "Oh, I
devotee."
want to go find that"?
Because they're
when-
not so
when-
pure.
When the whole point of the story was
Yeah.
that all of that was just completely useless because Krishna
I think
was
they missed the
Right.
point.
Yeah. They must be following the GBC.
oh no.
Hare
Okay. That one is that's a low job. But this could have been a person that heard the devotees tell the story, or
Maybe it wasn't
the
a
story is so
devotee.
famous. Maybe it wasn't even a devotee, but they know, the locals knew that somebody came with all this equipment to try to find that touchstone.
And that's kind of ridiculous because what are the chances that it would be at the bottom of Radhakund, or
Well, they've already drained Radhakund a number of times.
Right.
You've seen the videos, I'm
Right.
sure.
yeah, they've drained it a million times, yeah, and cleaned it,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well, it sounds like they weren't very smart.
Well, that's the moral of the story, that anyone who considers that valuable is missing, spiritual intelligence, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Prabhupada, Prabhu Gaura was saying, well, but we're here to understand this, because I was saying, repeating Kaviraj Goswami is saying that these pastimes are so deep. The pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are so deep that they're not really understandable with our intellect. At the same time, Prabhupada would say, drink milk, hot milk will produce fine brain tissue by which we can understand subtle things that, about Krishna.
Rasangi is next.
I was just, I was wondering, are we going to read more? Do you have a slideshow for us today?
No.
Oh, yes. No.
Sorry.
But I was, it's really good to talk about this and look at it more carefully, because a lot of times things don't make sense. We hear bits and pieces of stuff. We may read a little bit about so many different things, but unless we have a context for it and understand it better, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense. So I've been reading about, in the Nityananda Charitamrita, more about Lord Nityananda than I ever known. And it really helps me to understand him as a real person. And, I'm just so grateful. So we're talking here also and discussing and helping it to make a little more sense. That helps us. It helps me to accept it as real.
Me too.
We were
Turning the nectar.
Turning the nectar.
For example, the story of Sudama Vipra, for how long? We've almost 50 years we're knowing about. And then recently with Bhatrini, we heard the reason why. Why was Sudama so poor?
Rishangi was telling us.
You were telling us that too.
But we heard it too.
Can
I
you,
heard that.
can you tell me why he was so poor?
I heard it
Sure.
from Bodayan Maharaj. I heard it
Yeah.
from Bodayan Maharaj like 5 years ago at a retreat. And I
Okay.
said, you helped me so much. I could never make sense of any of that. Now it makes sense. He said, everything in Krishna consciousness makes sense, but it sometimes takes a while to have it put it together. So what happened was the Guru Ma sent the boys out for wood for a fire. Sandipani Muni's wife sent Sudama and Krishna out for firewood, but they got caught in a storm. And before they left, Guru Ma sent them with 2 bags of snacks so they wouldn't be hungry.
Chipped rice.
Chipped
It was
rice.
chipped right.
And and so and they got caught in a storm and they couldn't make it back. And Sudama ate Krishna's portion. And that's why he was born and became so poor.
You forgot to say they got separated.
They got
Krishna
separated.
and
Yeah.
Sudama's.
They
and
got
then,
separated. And
Sudama
Sudama,
was so.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
you.
ahead. I mean, Sudama was hungry and he ate it. And then Krishna asked where his was and he ate it. And not that Krishna punished him. It was like just kind of a natural consequence. And he became poor. But look what happened to him. Look how he was blessed.
And he returned the chipped rice to Krishna that his wife had given him.
Right, because remember he brought Krishna and he didn't want to show it to him, and then Krishna says, "What did you bring me? What did you bring me?"
How wonderful! How wonderful! He kept eating it
Yeah.
until the goddess of fortune stopped him from eating it because, right, it was so auspicious. It would be overwhelming if he ate more and more. He was stopped from eating it.
Imagine.
He stopped
He
him
said
because
one grain can.
Sorry.
One grain can satisfy the entire
all
universe,
entities.
all living entities.
That's in your song, though.
Oh, in my song it says, yeah.
Well, it's from
What?
Krishna.
But it's from Krishna book. But that's what it says in Krishna book. She stopped him. She said, "That's enough. Just one grain can satisfy all living entities."
But I still don't understand why would Lakshmi Devi stop him? Why?
Imagine the opulence that
It
you
would be
have.
too much opulence. It would just, like when you
Would it be
overeat.
rewarded too much?
They'd have to serve him.
They'd have to
What was
serve.
that?
Mahabodhi wouldn't what was that?
He's saying they have to serve.
They would
Krishna
have
would
to
have
serve
to serve
him.
them.
Oh, yes.
So I gotta go, guys. I have my class coming up. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Dandavad,
Dhanyavad,
Haribol,
Haribol,
Mahabodhi.
Mahabodhi.
Hello.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hey, Jivan Mukta, make sure you read what I sent you.
Jivan Mukta. Yeah, I'm not sure he's here right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haribol.
Oh, so is it-
Yeah, he already
He
shared.
left. He said that he had to sign off early.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
tired. Yeah, he's been working really hard.
Thank you for your association, Mahabodhi Maharaj.
Not Mirage, Godasa. Haribol, Dandavad. Mahabodhi
Thank you,
Godasa.
Mahabodhi.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Thank you everyone for coming. We'll continue through the Nectar of Instruction. We're studying the 4th verse, Dadati Pratigrinatvi, on Friday, same time. Learning about I don't think we finished it last time, did we, Nandapatni? Were you there? Previous Friday?
What was it? The nectar of instruction?
Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind and
Oh, I
calm.
don't know. I think my memory's going.
No, she wasn't there.
Were you there, Danishwar?
Yeah.
Did we finish that verse?
Oh,
I don't
That
think
I
so.
don't remember.
No, I don't think we
Yes,
did.
yes, we did. And then there was discussion, what happened to the other purports? And we were going to come back to that.
Oh,
Remember
that's
the other
right.
That's
purports
right.
from the Ram Maharaj?
That's what I thought was
What do you
finished.
mean the other commentaries?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. We finished the one in Prabhupada's Upadeshamrita, but we didn't go to Narayan Maharaj's book,
or Sridhar Maharaj's.
whatever it is.
Okay, so it'll be Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary then.
They're tikas, yeah, they're commentaries.
The,
Tikas.
the illuminations, that's called. So we'll progress.
Illumination.
Tika and Anubhava.
Gaura Prabhu, where did you get that lovely painting of your background?
Oh, I just found it on
Yeah, I was
Google.
just.
It's coming from Google.
I've looked
It's
for
it's
those. You
unusual.
found really nice ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unusual
Yeah.
to see a painting in that style.
And
Yeah.
is there a way that you can find a painting and then just use it as a backdrop?
Yeah, you can. What you do is you go up to the top left corner. First of all, you save the photo on your computer.
Yeah.
And then you go up to the top here where it says zoom.us. Do you see that in your top left corner? I learned this from
Yes, I see it. Yes.
I learned this from Dineshwar Prabhu. He's the guru of this, and he taught it to me in the disciplic succession.
Oh.
Backdrop lineage. Mhm.
So and you look under zoom.us, and then you go to preferences.
Yeah, you can also click the three dots in your, you do a right click on the three dots in your picture and get a link there. Choose virtual background.
Where is that?
The
Sorry.
three dots, if you put your cursor in your
Where the
picture,
right
there's
hand.
three dots in the top right corner. You do a right click and you'll see choose virtual background.
Oh,
So you can do it on the fly, just like you're doing now.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. What's the next one that's going to come on, Gaura?
Look at Gaura. He's living in the spiritual world. Look at that.
That's amazing.
This
Oh,
one-
look at that. All the cows.
Why, where?
oh, I don't see it.
Do we have to?
Oh, I like that one, Gaura. Well, I like all of
Oh, there
them.
it is.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my
and they're-
gosh.
yeah,
Raccoon, the
Radhakund.
cows. Ooh,
Uh-huh.
is that Puri or?
that one.
That's
Done.
wonderful.
Oh, that's what are they? That's Bindu Sarovara, I think.
Yeah,
the
I
lake
think
is
it says
where
most of
Bindus-
your body
Bindus
covers.
are over, isn't it?
Wow,
that.
that's beautiful. That one's gorgeous.
It
Oh,
is.
wow. You have a really good a good way of finding stuff on
There-
the
Yeah.
Where
Where I look
Chicago
also,
Temple.
Yeah, Chicago.
after seeing yours, I started looking for myself and I couldn't find those beautiful pictures that you have.
My camera is
This
obscure.
is the first time I saw Srila Prabhupada, July 4th weekend, 1975, the former
Wow.
YMCA in Evanston, Illinois on Emerson
Yeah.
Street.
I've
I'll
been
get
to
out of
that
the way of all
temple.
the devotees. The Prabhupada's there somewhere.
I was there.
You were there?
I was there too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I mean, I used to do traveling Sankirtan and spend months and months at a time at the Chicago Temple and doing the airport.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah. And I did that twice for several months. I probably spent almost the better part of a year there between the two times I spent there.
I got traded for Karna Karna, if you know that book distributor.
Wow.
You know
Can't
Karna?
be trained by anyone better.
Oh, you were trained by Karna Karna?
Well, she was, yeah, I didn't get trained from the beginning. I was already a Sankirtan devotee, but she was wonderful book distributor. So I learned a lot from her, but I didn't get trained from the beginning from her,
Okay.
no.
This is Dwarka.
You know, Ramdas, Abi Ramdas did a lot of that painting.
Oh yeah, this painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Dwarka under the ocean. So they.
Wow.
So,
Is that a
yeah.
photograph or a painting?
I'm not. No, this actually may be closer to Greece, but
Yeah.
they were using it to typify Dwarka.
Oh, under the sea. There is actually excavation going on in Dwarka under the sea. I saw a short documentary on it, not an ISKCON documentary. It was an
Is this
Indian.
recent?
Yes,
Is
Being
this
covered
recent
up.
documentary?
yeah.
All of that is being covered up. I'm hearing that there was a lot of archaeology, and they uncovered a lot of artifacts, and
Yes.
then the Indian government just said you have to stop. Basically, they canceled somehow or other.
That's
Said you
yeah,
can't.
that's what I heard.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, the
Why?
Oh, Jai.
He's with
Who's the devotee?
Oh.
there?
Govinda Maharaj. and
Jai.
Is that Sridhar?
Is
That's
Sridhar Maharaj.
and
And
guy in
Prabhupada.
the
Govinda.
middle.
When did look at Gaura's walking with them?
Yeah, lucky
I
dog.
wish.
Govinda Maharaj, Bhumi, Govinda Maharaj.
At the
Yeah.
age
Yes,
of,
Govinda
Govinda Maharaj in the
Yeah.
middle.
yes.
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 Oh my God, he's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved to go to see a Pishima at noon. He always visit because he knew he will get sumptuous prasada
Ah.
But that's later.
later.
That's when, no, that was
But he
earlier.
lived actually
when he
with
was
Sridhar
earlier.
Maharaj. They lived together at Prabhupada's house.
Mhm.
Nyasi Maharaj said that he heard Prabhupada say that Govinda Maharaj was his dearmost son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very
Govinda Maharaj
endearing
told us.
photo. That's a real find, Gaura.
Wow,
It's,
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
if
Actually,
Gaura was
he's
black
a
and
very
white, it would look like he
looking
was
young
really
man.
there. Sorry.
Mm.
Doesn't fit.
Wow, that's amazing.
Govinda Maharaj told us that when Prabhupada would go preach, because of that thing about brahmacharis and sannyasis being very respected, he would have Govinda Maharaj as a brahmachari begin the kirtan
And
And then-
sit on a seat
and
like
sit on the asana that was given to the person that was gonna speak.
wearing
and
saffron because he was a
So he's there,
brahmachari.
and then when he finished it, he would finish the kirtan and got up, and then Prabhupada would come and sit.
Oh, I thought Prabhupada just spoke from another place.
This
No.
is also Govinda Maharaj in the right hand corner there. He's actually
Yes.
he's glorifying. This is at the inauguration of the Mayapur temple.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's 73,
Sat
that
on the-
photograph, I think.
They sat on the Vyasasan together. Prabhupada
I
had.
know.
Yeah, they made the asana for them to sit.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's really, really a beautiful picture.
And Govinda Maharaj, I believe, is glorifying Srila Prabhupada. I think Sridhar Maharaj had some problem with his throat or something, so Govinda Maharaj was speaking.
Mhm.
Nanda Patni was talking about a pranam mantra by Govinda Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada. That's quite extraordinary.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you could read it sometime, Nanda Patni. It's quite
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Can
it's
I ask
really,
a
really
question?
something.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Gaura, is that Govinda Maharaj on the lower left-hand side?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
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 Oh my goodness, I never noticed the pictures of him when he was young. I only know pictures like because I've been to the temple and I've seen his picture on the Vyasasan, but I never. Wow, this is new for me.
Sangi, I have a question for you. You said you're reading what, the Nityananda Chartamrita?
Yeah, it's by an ISKCON devotee, but dedicated to Gaur Govinda Maharaj. I have it
I read it.
downstairs. Huh?
I had a copy of it some time ago.
Where do you get it?
If it's the
I
same
got
one.
Raghavendu got it in Alachua, actually, in the bookstore.
Oh,
But
Is it
it's
actually originally by Vishwanath Chakravarti?
no Vrindavan Das
Oh,
Thakur,
Vrindavan Thakur.
because he was a
Yeah.
direct
So
disciple.
that's
Yeah.
so Chaitanya Bhagavat, you hear the praises of Lord Nityananda.
This little book has just helped me so much. I have it downstairs, a beautiful picture of Lord
Can you get
Nityananda.
us showing?
I can show it to
Yeah,
you if
we
you want.
used to have it. Oh,
But, you know,
I-
it
Yeah.
highlights the pastimes of Lord Nityananda and really brings out his personality. You know, you hear about him as an avadut, and he also dressed beautifully in
Oh,
finery with turbans and jewels
no.
as Lord Balaram. You know what I mean? With a stick. I mean, this is by Vrindavan Thakur, his disciple. So
Did you see Gaura was holding it up? Hold it up again, Gaura.
Laura's got a copy right here, Sangi. Is this?
Oh, I can't see. Now you're.
I trust my immune system.
How do I
Gaura,
get my picture back? Dinesh Shar, can you explain?
Chant to Lord
you
Nityananda.
you turned off your video.
I know.
You hit stop video.
Start video.
Turn your video on.
All right,
There.
but how do I get rid of the picture in the back because it's interfering with the screen?
Can't just hold it up close to the camera like you were before. There.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, I don't know if this is accurate, but I remember hearing that this is actually not a book in of itself, but rather it's a compilation of everything from Chaitanya Bhagavat. I don't know if that's true on Lord Nityananda.
I would probably say in the introduction, surely.
Yeah,
Right.
I heard somebody say that.
So have a look, and then when we come back on again, you can tell us.
Okay.
How late
That'd be
does this class go? I'm sorry, I'm a newbie here.
Yeah, we're done actually.
We're done.
We're hangers on, Boomy.
Okay.
Haribol, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
I was wondering, I came in late.
Oh no, it's Ananda Dev. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty not good with time, but I came late. I was just wondering what a section that you guys were going over of the Krishna book.
It's
With the story of the Shamantaka jewel.
It's called The Killing of Satrajit and Satadhanva.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
And it's actually been recorded on YouTube, right, Gaura?
Yep, everything is everything you say shall be held against you in court.
Yes. Yes. It's so accidentally sneaky. Wow. Anyway, so Ananda Dev, you can actually see it on YouTube then.
Okay. Thank you.
Gaura, how does he get to that link? I've stumbled on it. Gaura's YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube and you just type in Gaura Das,
Yeah.
it'll take you to the channel.
And
then you can subscribe.
Conversations show up.
Don't you love his screensaver here? This is like crazy. It looks like a Driti painting, right? Does it, Bhumi? Ananda's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one for Ananta Dev.
Yeah.
That's a Driti painting, and I have the G-clay up in my living room. As a matter of fact, I can show y'all if you want to see it.
That's the link, Madan Mohan.
Okay, I'm going to show
There it is. He printed the.
if you want to see. Here we go.
It's so beautiful. Thank you for having that on your screen.
And that is definitely a Driti. So,
this is a Paramatma.
Nitya Leela, how's the preaching going in Pakistan? Are you experiencing
Yes,
any?
let's hear from Nitya Leela.
Wait. We have to see the painting. Bhumi.
Okay. Go ahead, Bhumi.
I can't see. I'm just pointing my computer in that
You got to
direction.
turn it up. There you
There
go.
it is. Higher. A little higher.
Yeah, there.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the same painting that Ananda Dev is using.
I know,
Yeah,
she said that.
Another day looks brighter somehow.
Yes, his colors are.
Yeah, well, this is a G-clay, so it's a very high quality. You want to see one of Driti's paintings? That's an original that I have.
Yeah, you live in an art gallery,
Give us
Bhumi.
the tour. Let's show
I
us your
know.
babies too.
I know, but I want to show you. Can you see?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
closer. Go
I'm
closer.
I'm
Closer.
sorry, I can't hear what you're saying, Rasangi.
Closer. A little higher up,
Okay,
higher.
I'm dropping everything.
Wow.
There.
Oh,
Okay, hold it.
Gosh.
Like a
Beautiful.
Renaissance.
Very
Krishna.
nice.
is that a painting, Bhumi, that she did?
Yeah, that's
Original.
the original painting. It was on the cover of Back to Godhead.
Mm.
How
And-
much did that
and-
cost? That's so gorgeous.
Well, she was a little desperate during that time, and I think I paid $1,000, which is very cheap for
Yes.
something of that quality. And the other thing that I want to say about this painting is that she used to paint with her husband Ram Dass. So he used to do all the landscaping and backgrounds. So you can see in this picture that the cows and the little
Trees.
forest scene.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all done by Ram Dass.
Beautiful.
Passed away last year.
Yes, he passed away. Yeah, it's almost 2 years now.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yes, he's very missed. And can we just mention and maybe send some prayers out for Madhusudan?
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you.
He is so missed. I mean, it just grabbed me in the heart that we lost Madhusudan.
Came here. He attended a couple times. How's
Yeah,
his wife?
he came.
How's Kanchana Bala doing?
Well, I haven't spoken to her because she's kind of overwhelmed, and I don't want to,
Intrude.
I don't want to intrude. Thank you. So I haven't really called her, but I am going to send her a card and whatever. I mean, what can you do, really? Yeah.
Send your love. That's it.
Yeah, just send your love. I mean, it's all you can do because all of us are going to face that sooner or later. And,
I have a lot of his medical details. I sent to Madhusudan our godbrother, Albert De Vos, who I met a couple of years back, just at the beginning of this whole scamdemic. He's a pharmacologist, and plus he's a phytotherapist. So I knew that Madhusudan had some health issues. So
yeah, COPD.
POD?
COPD. He had emphysema
Respiratory.
pretty much.
Sorry.
And for many years. And he used to go quite frequently to India and stay at Ayurvedic,
Ayurvedic
and do a
clinics.
couple of weeks there, and get Ayurvedic treatment for it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go to our Nitya Leela, Prabhuji?
yes, let's hear from Nitya Leela.
Nitya Leela. Bhumi, I don't know if you know Nitya Leela.
I don't.
She lives in Karachi in Pakistan, and Srila Prabhupada said he takes the dust from the feet of any devotee that preaches in Pakistan.
Yes.
So her and her two brothers cultivated leaders in the Pakistani government and managed to get a 10 million Pakistani rupee donation to print Prabhupada's books in Sindhi and Urdu. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I was thinking about can we get on board? I mean, can we request Kanchana Bala Devi Dasi ji for sharing her experiences with Srila Prabhupada Association? Can we get her on board? And
You mean on the Prabhupada memories? Is that what
exactly? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I spoke to Siddhanta recently, right after Rasangi did her interview, and I would imagine I'd have seen Madhusudan doing it. Maybe she didn't feel, she's not a public speaker, I guess. But I can mention it to her if I ever see her or talk to her.
Yeah, I'd like to do a Zoom interview with her if Siddhanta has not done that yet.
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is Siddhanta, I'm sorry, is Siddhanta Prabhu still doing these interviews?
Yeah.
I think so, but I think he's a little bit pickier now. I almost think that he didn't think I was maybe good material for an interview.
No, that cannot be true, Bhumi, because he.
I don't think he makes that kind of judgment.
Oh, Bhumi,
Well, no, I think he may have said that he needed to determine whether I had something new to add to all the plethora of devotees who've done those.
He doesn't think like that.
No.
Every devotee has their stories, and it's not a matter of.
And I
something-
do have a couple of, I do have not a whole bunch because, I never had personal, one-on-one association with Srila Prabhupada. So, but I did have some great airport stories and things like that,
Bhumi, I'm ready to record you at any time. Just let me know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but whatever you want, I'll do. I don't mind. I mean, I'd love to.
Bhumi Devi Dasi uncensored.
I'm always uncensored.
So let's hear the uncensored version of what's going on in Pakistan.
Yes,
please.
thank you for bringing it back, Nandapatni.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
All right.
intrude on. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, we are in middle of the process of arranging symposia for Kirtana. There's gonna be Mega Sankirtana because every year actually we used to engage youth and professionals to get them know about Sri Krishna culture, Krishna movement. So this is the agenda. We have to again translate. This year as well. But yes, some other of the programs like Noka Yatra and Nityananda Triyodashi festivities going on across the Pakistan. In many cities, it has been arranged. And recently it was very productive trip by Russian devotees, and it increased. It actually uplifted the spiritual vibes here. And thousands of the people were attending all these sessions by Russian devotees. It was being arranged by some of the Hindu Pakistan Council and in collaboration with ISKCON Pakistan. So that's another milestone which never been achieved in past years.
So can I ask you a question? When you say that there's this involvement with the Russian devotees, so that there are a lot of Russians in Pakistan?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, okay.
Nichilila, your brother, he was traveling up to Balochistan?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's northern Pakistan, or is that a separate country?
Exactly.
Separate country.
Is it a separate country, or is it Pakistan? Is Balochistan part of Pakistan?
Yeah, it is sort of, considered to be like separate region altogether, but it is part of Pakistan, obviously.
And where else did Ram Saka go, your brother? Where else did he go to preach?
He goes to, every zone of Pakistan, be it Balochistan, Larkana, Sindh, Hyderabad, Quetta, many territories across Pakistan.
And no problems due to the heavy Muslim influence there? No difficulties?
No difficulty yet because we are not arranging these sessions on street. These sessions are being arranged in tent and sort of community setups nearby.
So discreet.
Yeah.
So in other words, you have to be very, very careful and be, like Gaura said, be very, very discreet about it. Otherwise, it could be potentially very dangerous preaching, right?
Exactly, you're right. So we are not openly doing many things, but with cautious and with meticulous way, we are arranging all these sessions. That's very true. Yeah.
Wow.
That's very noble.
So much respect to you for doing that.
Every credit goes to Srila Prabhupada, Vaishnava's blessings. and I'm getting nourished by this association every thrice a week. All glories to all the assembled devotees, and particularly Gaura Prabhuji for arranging such sessions, which is for boosting our morale and our immunity as well, I must say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nitya Leela is actually Dr. Maheshwari, and prior to her current job, she had 250 doctors working under her care. But
Oh,
she left that job so she would not be obliged to have to take the injections that are being forced on everyone.
I see.
Nice to know about Bhumi Devi Dasi ji. I didn't know anything about. If somebody can tell me, then I would be grateful.
You don't know anything about what? About
About
me?
you.
About you, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, I'm not that important. That's why. Yeah.
She's
But
very important.
I've been very good friends with Gaura for many years, and of course Rasangi's like my bosom buddy, and Nanda Patni's becoming a friend, and she's been over recently, and you know, and I joined Srila Prabhupada's movement in 1972.
Wow, I'm
Where are
really
you
honored
living
to
now?
follow.
Where do you live now, Bhumi?
I live in Monterey, California.
Okay.
And
Who is
Bhumi
the
was
first?
a big book distributor. She was a book distributed Prabhupada's books for years. And she was also a wonderful cook in
Yes.
England. She was in England for years serving
Yeah.
there.
And in America, I cooked in America too. Not so much. Mostly they had me out on book distribution, but and also now my big passion is deity, dressing the deities and making outfits for them. That's my big service now, except that right now I'm not in the best of health, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Who is the first devotee you met, Bhumi?
You know, there's the first devotee I met on the street. I remember seeing Jai Dwaita Swami on the chanting parties in New York. And but I met Brajendra Nandana. And there's actually a lot of those old New York devotees that as soon as I walked in the temple, I go, oh, I know them, and I know them, and I know them, and yeah.
Because you had seen them on Harinam, is that it?
I've seen them on Harinam, and then I also they were on TV on the David Susskind show.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and that was very instrumental in bringing me to the temple.
Rukmini was there, Bardaraj.
Yeah, Yoga Maya and Jai Dwaita Swami was there too. But the first devotee I met when I walked in the temple was Janardhan Vaikanas Maharaj.
Oh, uh-huh.
And he sold me a book on the staircase, and he took my last dollar.
That was the style.
And yes, he took my last money, and you know,
God bless him.
And I think he sold me a maybe I wonder what it was, a Perfection of Yoga maybe, and I remember buying a what was that little pamphlet? It wasn't on chanting Hare Krishna. It was the Reservoir of Pleasure. I received that on the street, and I used to get Back to Godheads and things like that. I actually, you know, it's amazing that I became a devotee because I was not favorable to the devotees. And sometimes I got in arguments with them, you know, thinking I knew something, you know.
But that's Nityananda Shakti.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I got special mercy from him, even though
Yeah, even when you don't want
offensive.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought offensive things when I saw them, and you know, they were wearing bed sheets and stuff. And I thought, you know what I thought? I thought this is what you do when you have nothing else going for you.
Bunch of losers.
And it turns out that I was right. That, you know, that when I finally admitted I had nothing else going for me, I was completely burnt out by the material energy, and I was miserable, and you know, I surrendered to Krishna. I didn't even believe in God, I just didn't want to be miserable.
Did you meet Radharani there?
Right in the beginning. I never saw her on the street, but I did meet her because my sister had joined. She's not a devotee anymore, but she had joined shortly before that, and she introduced me to her particularly. And so I met Jadharani, and you know, and I roomed with her for quite a while.
Did you get initiated? Did your sister get initiated?
Yeah, she was Vajasana.
How long did she stick around?
She was there. She left around, I think she was there like 9 years, maybe 10.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's been around, but we were never close, me and my sister.
She younger or older?
She's older.
Okay. So you're the little sister.
I'm the little sister, yeah.
The little sister who stuck around.
Well, you know, wasn't a straight line, Nandapatni.
Well,
but
don't worry
here
about
I
that.
am.
Kinks in the road.
There were a lot of kinks in my road, and I didn't have a straight line, you know, just straight to Krishna. It's been, you know, very zag, and I've had many years where, you know, I didn't even think about Krishna in the 90s and stuff like that.
But
I got
Krishna hasn't forgotten
out
you.
by the you know, the kind of you know, disintegration of ISKCON in those days.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Daneshwar was saying you may think you forgot Krishna, but Krishna never forgot you, Bhumi.
That's how it works, isn't it? He never forgets, you know, a person who once chants the Hare Krishna mantra. And I'm so grateful and fortunate that Krishna's so merciful, because I sure don't deserve to be here.
The sweetest of sweetest things is that he promises that.
Yeah.
Well, looking behind you, all over your house, you've got such beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
You know, you've certainly made a good comeback.
Well, you know, it's a second by second thing, you know. And my deities have been really merciful. I don't know if you saw my deities.
Take us to your deities.
We saw the Sringa song.
A real quickie, because I don't want to keep all of you. No, but okay. My deities are my life, and here they are.
Jai.
God.
And see, I'm actually they have two different outfits on, and I needed to make Krishna a warm outfit for the winter, and I made him a kilt, which he's wearing. I don't know if you can see it.
Down a bit. Oh, yeah. That's adorable.
Yeah.
And you made him a pearl sporran.
And a little sporran, I know. It's actually just a hanging jewel, but yeah, he's got a sporran there.
Are you part Scottish? You made a kilt for Krishna?
No, I'm you know, Jewish heritage. No Scottish there, but you know, I appreciate I don't know, there was something about, you know, maybe I was watching Outlander or something like that, and I just said, wow, that would make a beautiful deity outfit. That's what happens if I ever watch movies, especially period movies. I go, oh, I'm going to make that for Radharani, you know. I get a lot of ideas just from, you know, stuff like that.
So in the beginning, Bhumi, you went out on probably on the Harinam party, and then that gradually you graduated to going on big books?
Yeah, almost immediately. I actually
Really?
joined during the explosion of big book distribution.
75?
So I went on the I was on the Channing party maybe for 2 weeks before they sent me out doing books. My partners were Divi Shakti and Mahara
Uh-huh.
and all those real Sankirtan greats. And we used to go out and sell books at Port Authority all the time. I was a Bakhtin, practically right away. And it's really weird because I never had a propensity, not that I didn't have a propensity for it, but I didn't enjoy book distribution too much. I loved cooking and deity worship, and I was attracted to all the artsy stuff about Krishna consciousness, and it was never able to indulge in it.
But you
until
surrendered the book distribution because that was the
Yeah,
order of the day. Yeah.
yeah, that was the thing to do. So that's what I did.
Jagadatri crossed paths with you?
Yes, I used to go out with Jagadatri in LA. Yeah. And Rasangi is an old Sankirtan partner, and Mula used to come to New York to help train up all the women. Almost from the beginning, she was like into big book distribution, and Rameshwar sent her to New York many times. And the first time I met her, she was Bakhtin Marissa.
Huh.
And, she was a new devotee, but she was huge. And so he sent her to New York, and we followed her techniques on how to sell books. You tell them we had those little blue Krishna books, right?
Right.
And we would say, this is George Harrison wrote the introduction and stuff like that. That was our big selling point.
This one, I think, you mean?
The trilogy, is that it? Hold it up more. Wow, the background photo there makes it hard.
I know I'm trying to get rid of it. How do let's see.
I don't know, but I know what you're holding up, and it's blue, right?
Right.
Yeah. It was a trilogy, and they were little blue books. And
here it is.
There you go. Wow, you have a storehouse of
I do. I'm like in archives over here. I found this in Asheville, North Carolina, in a used bookstore. I grabbed it. I thought, where else do you find this?
Wow, that's almost like finding, one of Prabhupada's original Bhagavatams.
Yeah, they're in mint. It's in mint shape too, mint condition.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. So I'm curious to know. I asked Pragosh last time I saw Pragosh Prabhu in New York. I went to the Rath Yatra there just 3 years back, and because Hangsa Rupa was now the new management, and I was talking to a couple of students of what's his name, Danudar Swami, and someone pokes me on my back from behind, and I turned, and I just became like blank for a second, and he said, "It's Pragosh." I didn't recognize him because he didn't have any teeth at the moment.
I think he got teeth because he made the Prabhupada Memories thing, and he has these big, beautiful veneers or something. So he's got teeth now.
So then I introduced the students of Danudar Maharaj. I said, "This is my godbrother Pragosh. He's one of the greatest book distributors in the entire world." I said, "Pragosh,
yeah,
please tell us one of the best encounters, one of the most favorable encounters you ever had with a celebrity." And Pragosh went, "Celebrity?" And he said, "Okay."
Prabhupada.
He said he said he was at the airport. I'm not sure which one, JFK or LAX, whatever. And he said Charlton Heston was coming through the airport, and he walked up to him, shook his hand, and gave him Life Comes from Life. He said he was distributing that book at the time, and he said, Mr. Heston, I have to tell you that when I was a little boy, my mom took me and my brother, and I think he said sister, and if he has one, and
He
dressed it.
does. He's got, he's one of 12 kids.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, he said his mom dressed him up and some of his other family members in the best Sunday clothes, and they all went to the movie theater to see Ben-Hur, and he was telling Charlton Heston how much he loved the Ben-Hur movie with starring Charlton Heston. And
Yeah.
Charlton Heston was flattered by this. He said, "Oh, thank you very much." And then in the meantime, some Christian came up and said, don't listen to him. He's just a brainwashed Hare Krishna. He knows mind control." And Charlton Heston turned to the Christian. He said, "I don't remember inviting you." And the Christian went away. So that was the story that he shared with us. I'm just wondering for you.
I was just listening this morning to Pragosh on he was on the Prabhupada Memories.
Yeah.
And this is a story he used to tell me probably a few times, but he was on a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. And it was in Los Angeles, and Rameshwar arranged for him to get to go on a walk with Srila Prabhupada. So he was right behind Srila Prabhupada. And for some reason, Prabhupada kind of stopped short to turn around and make a point. And he accidentally stepped on his shoe, on the back of his shoe. And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, "Don't come close." And then when they got back to the temple, Rameshwar was like, "Well, how did it go? How was it?" And he said, "Oh, it was great. Srila Prabhupada talked right to me." And he goes, "Oh, what did he say?" And he said, "Don't come close." And that was his big story with Prabhupada talking directly to him.
There was another time he tells a story where he's in the airport and he's distributing the book. Maybe it's to an officer or someone in the military. I can't remember. And he was saying, "Oh, and the author of this book is going to be coming through here right now." And Prabhupada was appearing in the airport. I can't remember if he actually introduced Prabhupada to the gentleman or not, but the gentleman was.
I think that was on the Prabhupada Memories too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's a Prabhupada Memories video that's Rameshwar and him, every other, one story and then the other and the other. And I think it's one of the most entertaining of all the Prabhupada videos I've seen.
Did you meet any celebrities while you were at the airports?
Yeah, lots of them.
What were some of the a couple of the most favorite experiences you had?
Leslie Ann Warren, she was an actress who played Cinderella.
Oh.
And I recognized her right away, but I sat down next to her in the United Terminal at JFK, and she was lovely, and she took a book. And I also sold a book to Sammy Davis Jr.
Was he favorable?
He was in a hurry, but
polite.
He took the book, and then I said to him, I don't remember how I asked him, but I told him, we ask everybody, to leave a donation or something like that, if you like. And he said to his bodyguard, he said, "Take care of her."
Nice.
And he flipped me a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And probably some others. Those two just come to mind right away. I met Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
He was really mean.
Sanjaya Prabhu told me a story about meeting Colonel Sanders in the airport.
And what was his story?
Well, he was being wheeled in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he had a bunch of bodyguards around him too. And he walked, and he had a heart, I'm not sure if he could even get through to get him a book, but he yelled out to him, Hare Krishna, Colonel Sanders, Hare Krishna, just so he could hear it because of all the chickens that he had helped to cook.
Yeah, really. When I approached him and he didn't have a lot of bodyguards around him, but he was like, get out of here, kind of like shooing me away.
Crabby guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was not nice.
Vaisheshika Prabhu told me one story. I asked him, can you share a celebrity story with me doing books? And he said, I think he was with Garutama at the airport, and he saw Mick Jagger with his then wife Bianca, and they walked into one of those little boutiques that they have in the airports. And
Yeah.
and Vaish said to Garutama, hey, it's Mick. And so I think Garutama continued on, but Vaish went and he waited outside for 20 minutes for Mick and Bianca to come out. And then when they came out, Vaisheshika Prabhu approached Mick and Bianca and was offering him a book. I don't think he said Mr. Jagger and hi Mick, and when he went to approach Mick went, don't bore me, and and he kept going, don't bore me.
Oh,
like really, like snubbed him, right?
Yeah.
And as he continued walking, Bianca stopped and she asked Vaishika, oh, what's the book? And he showed her the photos and explained briefly to her, and she gave him a $20 donation. And before she left, she said, oh, don't mind him, he's always like that.
Yeah, right.
She
You
gave
can
it 20.
Imagine they're all a lot of them are like that, and especially Mick Jagger.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah. We've kind of talked everybody's left.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We could do this sometime, Boomy, if you like. You got an hour or two. I did 5 videos with Nyasi Maharaj, who was Sri Govinda at the Chicago temple when I joined in 75.
Yeah.
And I got into like his whole being inspired by Govinda Maharaj and Sridhar Maharaj, and his entering into that Sangha as well.
Oh, didn't know.
Yeah, so it was five videos I did with him, about 2 hours long each. Yeah, and he still wants to do one more.
Yeah. I did. I spoke to Siddhanta. Rasangi gave me his number, and I called him, and then he called me back, and we spoke for a little while. And I think if he's ever up in this area, he said he might contact me, and we can do a little interview, because
I don't want to interfere with Siddhanta Prabhu's service. He's the best.
And it's not one or the other.
No.
But I just wanted to mention that I don't know. He kind of gave me the impression that maybe I didn't have enough of and also you forget stuff over the years. Right. Especially if you don't keep a diary, that's right. One of my my big what's the word? Regrets is that I didn't keep a diary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then sometimes people send me pictures and I have no idea where I am or who or where we, like that.
I had a few stories to tell him, but I was like, he was saying, wow, so many devotees who said to me, oh, it looked like Prabhupada was walking on air, his feet didn't touch the ground. And
I didn't have that experience.
Yeah. So I was kind of like careful about what I shared, because I thought, well, other devotees might have said the same thing. He only got me on one little story about when I was in Mayapur and Prabhupada was giving personal instructions to Bhavananda to take care of me, because I was ready to leave my body. I was that sick. When I interview devotees, like I did with Upananda, who's Avadut Maharaj now, but he joined in Berkeley in 69.
He was in the last class I participated in with you.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, right. So I did a 2-hour video with him. But what I'm doing is more or less like how I came to Krishna consciousness, and and what I did through my years. I mean, it's amazing to hear how he, after just shortly joining in Berkeley, he went to Australia. He helped to open up Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney. Then he went to stopped in New Zealand, helped to open up Fiji. Then from there went to Africa and opened up Ghana and Lagos. And then when you hear about all he's done, and then you think, but he's not welcome to speak in any ISKCON temple because he took sannyas from Srila Narayan Maharaj, then, I don't know what to make of that.
I'll tell him you were thinking of him.
Okay, sure.
Say that again, Prabhu.
I'll tell him you were thinking of him because he's just here in the other room.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, you're the one that's in Texas, right, Prabhu? Madan Mohan?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think my friend Govinda Das, Govinda from Costa Rica?
Yeah, she was just here a while back.
Yeah, and he you guys have cows, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
We have some gear cows. Yeah.
Yes, we do. We have them here too.
Nice.
And I think that we got them from the same place as the gear cows that are in Texas. There's somebody who deals in them. They're from Brazil.
Rick.
Say that again.
It's Rick.
Rick is the name of the person where you got the cows from?
Yeah, well, he had a partner named Cindy, and they had an agreement that it would be a Ahimsa organization.
Right.
But he kind of went against that agreement. So Cindy has since disbanded their partnership, and she's here now.
Oh, okay. And he sold cows that might get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's why Cindy ended their relationship as partners.
Yeah.
So, but she's here and
oh, good.
Yeah.
And who are you a disciple of?
His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Maharaj.
Siddhanti.
He's a disciple of Bhakti Pramod Puri.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. So how many people are living at the farm? You live in a farm, right?
Yeah, there's about 15. Plus there's some workers that work at a factory.
There?
He will be in next month.
Oh, okay, because I have his Prabhupada Murti. I'm supposed to be making an outfit for him. I just have to feel better before I get that outfit made.
Okay. Did you know Avadut Maharaj was one of the disciples there that when they were out on their Rath Yatra, they saved the women that were up in the burning building in Australia? I don't know if you've heard of that pastime.
I don't know that pastime. It doesn't sound like a pastime, but that sounds horrific. But I'm glad that they saved them. Wow, that's a heroic act.
Yeah, they showed Srila Prabhupada the article about how that happened, and he was really happy to see it.
Oh, so that happened many, many, many years ago.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wonderful. So, and you must know Rasangi too, because she also went to Texas and spent a couple of weeks there. I think Shamarani was there at the time, right?
I haven't met either of them yet in this lifetime.
Oh, okay. But you did meet.
Yeah, the only people I've met in this meeting were Mahabhuti and Ananda.
Oh, okay. Well, good. It's nice to have a nice mix across the thing. I mean, I know there's a lot of fighting and stuff, but I liked, it's nice. I like to I like to associate with Vaishnavas from wherever they take their association from. And so I have a lot of friends from many different sanghas, I guess.
Yeah, I really am inspired by what Srila Prabhupada said to Shyamarani, that wherever there's chanting of Hare Krishna, that is ISKCON, the Mahamantra.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. And also, I'm getting tired, but Prabhupada, Prabhupada, the first name that he had for his society with his godbrothers, it was some Hindi name, and the translation was International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I can't remember what it was, so maybe I shouldn't have said anything. But anyhow, I'm going to need to leave now.
Me too.
And
Hare Krishna, thank you for your
I want to
association.
thank everybody who stuck around or didn't stick around, and we had a wonderful reading today. And it's so nice to meet all of you.
Y'all come back now here.
Yeah, we'll all come back. We here.
We'll be here Friday night to hear from Srila Rupa Goswami.
Right.
I just want to say that I appreciate being able to relish various stories and connections that you guys are, pulling out from your memories, and that you're uniting so many different people from various different associations, setting aside, where we would normally not associate, but being able to unite in this way.
Thank you for appreciating that, Ananda Dev. Others may not always appreciate because, Srila Prabhupada said this, but that Acharya says this, and that Acharya says that, and sometimes it's a little tricky to reconcile, each of their individual moods, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do understand. It's good.
I'm just a beggar myself. I'm grateful for any Vaishnava who I can associate with. I live in a small town. I'm an hour and a half away from any Vaishnava. I don't see anybody for months. So this is the best I can do right now.
Where is it that you are situated?
I'm in Erin, Ontario. It's 4,500 people in a country town, halfway between Guelph, Ontario, which is 45 minutes one side, and Orangeville, Ontario, which is 25 minutes the other side. I'm about 2 hours from where Neil Young was born, in Omemee, Ontario, and Gordon Lightfoot.
Claim to fame.
And yeah, and Gordon Lightfoot. I don't know if you heard of him. He's kind of like our Bob.
Of course.
Yeah, he's from Aurelia, which is about an hour and a half from me. So yeah, I'm out here. That song that Neil Young wrote, "Helpless, helpless, helpless." That's how I feel if I don't have these Zooms, I feel pretty helpless out here. So thanks a lot for purifying me with your association. So we'll do this again Friday, 7:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. We went over tonight, but that's fine. So hope to see you all then.
Yes.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, the Thai Gaura community.